What is up, scoundrels and card players? Welcome back to another episode of Sabacc the Block. I am here as usual with Emma Fyffe. Emma, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah?
I watched a lot of Great British Bake Off this weekend because I realized that part of why that was so like relaxing and self-care-y is because I'm never ever going to have to talk about Great British Bake Off for work. So I think that's why it was like so chill to just like watch some amateur bakers do their thing. I've watched a lot of Great British Bake Off in the past, but I feel like I've watched a couple like full seasons of it and then just like bits and pieces. So it was really soothing to just, go back and watch Mel and Sue do their thing in the early days. Cause let's be real, they're the better presenters.
There you go. Hot takes already. I obviously have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never watched Great British Bake Off?
I've never seen it.
What?
I've never seen it.
Oh my God. Come on, chat.
I'm not big on reality TV. I'm not big on food stuff
either.
So
wholesome.
Yeah, I know. I'll watch the Daisy Ridley episode. That's coming up, right? Isn't that what she's doing?
Well, a lot of the time they'll have like celebrities for charity episodes or like for holiday episodes. So maybe, Jamila Jamil was on an episode one time, who's great on The Good Place. She was not a great baker, but I think that's fine.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. As long as you get the celebrities there and get some attention to the show, that's what matters. I've been watching and obsessing over, and I've been saying this on every podcast and every show. I think I might have mentioned it to you as well, Emma, but Jujutsu Kaisen has been my new...
I watched a little Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, man. It's so fun. It's such a fun anime. It's the most anime kind of anime you can watch, but at the same time, it still is kind of fresh enough and like interestingly progressive enough to where I can kind of get into it. I don't know. I just really love it. And I love the concept of it. I don't know how far you are into it. How far you are into it? Like maybe a couple episodes?
I've only watched like 3 episodes, but I enjoyed what I've watched. I just started last night, Skate the Infinity, which
I heard that's amazing.
Good. Yeah. It's so good. I've watched 4 of the 8 episodes. I'm hoping to be able to watch the other 4 at some point tonight. If not tonight, I'll get to it tomorrow. But I'm loving it so much.
My buddy is always like, I love my homie because he's one of my homies who got me into like some other like horror animes. But he always comes up to me and he's always like, "Yo, bro, you got to see Promised Neverland, bro.
Oh,
Promised Neverland." And I'm like, I've never seen that. I've never seen that show. Promised Neverland. Yeah. And I still have to catch up on Demon Slayer. I know that's the one that everyone's going to get mad about me. But Demon Slayer, I still have to catch up on. So
yeah, I have not actually really gone down the Demon Slayer path all that much myself. But I know a lot of people really love it. There's only so many hours in a day. And there's a lot of content out there that needs be consumed. It does. So that's...
Speaking of which, coming up, and I'm so excited because the more we hear about the show, Emma, the more I'm excited about it. This is our Star Wars news segment without our sound bites, guys, because RB3, our fearless leader, our fearless MVP is not here. So we will be holding down the fort as best as we can. But obviously, our Star Wars news segment is all about the Obi-Wan show that is coming up. We just got some major casting news, which is Indira Varma has been cast in a major role in this series. Obviously, we don't know what that role is, but we do know that she is on set. She's shooting with with Ewan. The more I hear about the show, he kind of is Obi-Wan. The more I hear about the show, Emma, the more I'm excited about it. But let's do the fun, correct thing to do as a Star Wars fan, and that is speculate the hell out of this, and potentially see who could she be playing. Obviously, she's been a lot of roles. She's been in Rome, Game of Thrones. She was in Luther. She was Luther's wife. So she's definitely a veteran actress. So I definitely see her as being on par with a Ewan, having a major role there. What role do you think she will?
Though I don't know about the having a major role thing, because look at The Mandalorian and all of these characters that they're like, Carl Weathers is going to be in it, and Ming-Na Wen, and friggin' Timothy Oliphant, and a lot of them were like one-off characters. So it depends on how Obi-Wan focused it is. It almost feels like Star Wars with their TV shows might be moving in the direction of the 1960s Adam West Batman, where it was very much a thing, and it was like a big honor to guest star as a villain on Batman. That being said, we don't know what the approach to the Obi-Wan series is going to be, so it is very possible that she is going to be playing a major character. I certainly think that she could be a recurring character. You know, a lot of these people who I mentioned were in more than one episode, but it wasn't like they were consistently on the show, you know, because I think that people thought that we were leading to, it's going to be the Mandalorian and his squad. And really it was just the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda and like occasionally a squad if he needed it. I do think that most likely, I don't have any particular existing Star Wars characters in mind that I think that she would play. I think more than likely it's going to be an original character. That's
the veteran way to answer the question.
Yes.
Like the smart way to answer it.
It is the smart way to answer the question. And I think that it is also the way that is going to serve her best as a performer. Oh boy, and this comes from a lot of pain and suffering on my part from that character's depiction on the television series Game of Thrones, because I love that character. I thought she was extremely well cast. Oh, the show did Ilaria so fucking dirty.
Yeah.
They did her so dirty. That is not that character at all.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice, Emma. I am a Martell through and through.
They fucked up the Martell
Dornish
so
blood
bad.
runs through my veins. I drink Dornish wine for breakfast.
Yeah.
I am clearly in the Martell family. So yes, I really do pity not just the role, but the actors they had in that role, who are all great actresses. Like I really do think like, what's her name? Jessica Henwick, who plays Jess Pava in The Force Awakens, is one of the Sand Snakes, and she's just kind of there.
She's just there. And the Sand Snakes are these awesome characters in the book. They did Dorn so dirty on the show.
Bad. It was really bad.
It was really bad.
Like as much as I try to be like, and I'm like a very positive Game of Thrones person. But even though I'm like, yeah, that was bad. So yeah, give it up to her to, make it up for her role, considering how much we thought we were going to get of her in Game of Thrones and how little
and she was really, really well cast in that role. Yeah. So I think that she's a tremendously talented actor, and I look forward to whatever she's going to do in the Obi-Wan series. And as Bradley Burnett in the chat points out, like as far as Obi-Wan goes, there's so many unknown factors at this point that it is very difficult to speculate. Like we truly don't have an exact premise for what this show is, other than it's about Obi-Wan and it takes place in between the end of Revenge of the Sith and the beginning of A New Hope.
Well, the more I think about it, Emma, the more, like you said, we don't know anything about this show. Yeah. We don't know any kind of plot details. So that opens up more ability to speculate. And that's why I'm going to Grandpa Karamba's comment in the chat, who says, Asajj Ventress, what? The idea of, I think this show could possibly be a major anime flashback show, like straight up, like a ton of flashbacks, considering maybe, what do you think of the possibility of her playing Asajj in a flashback?
Well, I mean, we know that we're getting Hayden Christensen, so it's most likely that we will certainly see flashbacks. That does also bring up the question. I don't know, age-wise. I don't know.
Maybe.
No. It's not that. I was thinking more like along the lines of if Rosario Dawson would make an appearance as Ahsoka in like a flashback with Anakin.
I actually had that in one of my notes for later on for Sabacc. But if that is the case, I said in my notes, I said little Ahsoka. They could cast a younger actress.
God, I would
to
love
play Ahsoka. Wouldn't that be cool? As like in a flashback.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I have a pitch to you in my second
Okay.
segment, but Ahsoka comes into it. But yeah, Asajj. What do you think of Asajj coming in?
I like Asajj Ventress a lot as a character. I do think that if that is who she is playing, it would most likely have to be like Asajj at the age that she would be like of a peer group sort of with you and Obi-Wan at that particular age. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of I don't know, let's go to the Green Psylop. And the Green Psylop is about another potential casting, I don't know, rumor, speculation, just theory to just throw at the wind and see if it catches air and just flies away. Let's talk about the possibility of seeing Satine in an Obi-Wan show in a flashback. And if maybe even she could be playing Satine, Varma could be playing Satine. I thought it was an interesting possibility because everyone is so used to the way Satine looks like in the Clone Wars.
Sure.
But they could easily be like, yeah, we're going to change the way she looks. Why not?
Yeah.
And just kind of change her look up and be like, yeah, she's our new live action Satine.
I am all for what I like to call theater casting. If you have any questions as to what that is, just watch the Brandy and Whitney Houston Cinderella. It's it's a black queen and a white king. And they have an Asian son, like specifically like a Filipino son, I believe. So to me, that's beautiful. I really do not think that I have to admit that if we were to see the character of Duchess Satine show up in the Obi-Wan series in a flashback, that she most likely would look like me, white and blonde, because that is the conceit that we have come to expect from that character. And also we already established the conceit of seeing Bo-Katan. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I don't know. It's a possibility. I just threw it out there because I feel like anything's possible nowadays. And especially when it comes to, I just love, and I'm going to say this in a kind of playful way. I won't say this in an upset, like get mad kind of race way. But I just think it's funny when people are like, we're casting a Pakistani guy and his cousin is a Mexican dude. And it's like, sure. And it's like, we're not the same, but you know what?
Yeah,
whatever.
And that's and this kind of harkens back to like a conversation that we like had previously had last week when we were talking about the character of Ezra, and Ezra. How like so Ezra is a Star Wars. He is, and there somebody pointed out in the chat, they're like, oh well, if he's supposed to be Middle Eastern, he shouldn't be played by an Indian because somebody from India, because it's
not the same area.
Not the same thing. Yeah. It's like the same way as like a Japanese actor should not necessarily be cast in a Korean role. But the thing is like at the end, a lot, at the end of the day, it's Star Wars. They're all, I guess, human. They look human, certainly.
Yeah.
But
I do think there's some sincerity to that. I really
there's absolutely some sincerity to that. And there's kind of two ways to look at it. As you say, Ace, you can either look at it as like, again, this person, these two people are supposed to be playing. If they're supposed to be playing a specific race, then you should cast people that are like actually of that ethnic background. But if it's, again, like two characters who are supposed to be related, but like it's a space movie or it's some sort of crazy fantasy, who cares? Again, I say black queen, white king, Filipino son, let's go.
Kinda. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying too. It's like, if it is a fictional world, when it comes to relationships, I'm cool with it. But again, we never know. But either way, if it isn't Indira Varma playing Satine, do we still think that maybe we could still get a Satine in a background, a flashback kind of episode or in a flashback scene?
Oh man,
I think we have to. I think it's a must.
So. I know.
I think it's a 99%.
Especially because like we've already been introduced to Bo-Katan within the live action world. So we might see the both of them, potentially in a flashback. Because I think that Katie is actually like technically probably like aged up a little bit for Bo-Katan in Mandalorian. I think she like is a little young technically to be playing that character at this point. But you know, I don't know. Also, who cares? It's like, it's just like age is meaningless.
Yeah, at least now it is.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps bringing up, especially everyone by everyone I mean you, keep bringing up Diego Luna, but that's a really good example of like
Diego Luna, come on. Like he has
Homie's
looked the same.
Yeah.
He has looked the same since freaking Dirty Dancing Havana Nights.
Yeah. It's the whole new world.
Yeah.
I definitely do not look my age. At least I don't think I do.
No.
I think people still think I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
I'm a Gen Zer, and I'm not, guys. I'm way older. Either way, that leads us to our full sabacc, which is me kind of just taking this concept and just tripling down on it, Emma, because my full sabacc this week is all about the Clone Wars.
Oh.
You could see it kind of there in our background, but it's kind of covered up.
Clone.
Clone. So my idea and my concept is, the more I think about Asajj, I got into thinking about Quinlan Vos, and everyone loves and knows Quinlan Vos, but we've never seen a live action Quinlan Vos. And I was like, if we are talking about Asajj, we have to talk about Quinlan Vos. Will we get, and I kept thinking about it, and I was like, they could totally do it. I could see Obi-Wan in his armor, and I could see an actor playing Quinlan Vos, and it could be a flashback, a conversation between the two, maybe a battle between that they're in the middle of, because they obviously are homies. Like the possibilities of seeing multiple Jedi, like Ayla Secura, Quinlan Vos, Luminara Undili, like all these Jedi that we know and love in the Clone Wars and in Attack of the Clones in the background, right now kind of coming to life in this Obi-Wan show through flashbacks. And then I wrote in my notes too the possibility of like a little Ahsoka kind of running around with Anakin as Hayden Christensen.
I think
that's cool.
I think what I would really like, because I don't want the show to, unless like we immediately establish the conceit of like Obi-Wan is okay. Spoiler alert for WandaVision. So cover your ears if you are not caught up on WandaVision. And it's like mildly spoilery. I won't even really go into all the details about it. But so on the last episode of WandaVision, it was a bunch of flashbacks basically of her reliving portions of her life. Yeah. If they establish that conceit right away in the Obi-Wan series, then like, I'm with it. it. Otherwise, I would, and you know, if they use it in a meaningful way, I guess I just don't necessarily want the show to rely entirely on flashbacks. It's like, if we got like bits and pieces of it and it was like Obi-Wan unreliable narrator, and then we just, because it's like his perspective, and then like we got a full episode where it's like, these are really the events that culminated in Obi-Wan feeling like he failed Anakin, and he's like dealing with that, like the emotional repercussions of that to like get to the point that we see him at in Star Wars Rebels, where we see that like he is definitely like, he's at least definitely moved on from the Maul thing. And like by the time we get to A New Hope, like he's like made peace with the whole Vader Anakin thing on some level. But I think also it's like exploring the idea of like that final moment with Vader and like, where was his head at? I don't know. I have very high hopes for this show, and I don't even know what I'm arguing on behalf of anymore, but I just, I guess what I'm saying is like, I want there to be a story or some sort of action in the present that's driving things forward. But obviously, I think we have to explore Obi-Wan's past because there's a lot of shit he hasn't dealt with in a way that we've seen it thus far.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. You know what I'm kind of thinking? If I'm in a Lucasfilm writer's room, this is me in a Lucasfilm writer's room. I'm thinking there's been so many TV shows. Have you seen Homecoming, by the way?
No.
It's an Amazon Prime show.
No, I have not seen it.
It's really interesting. It's about a corporation that's kind of profiting off the PTSD therapy that soldiers get.
I see.
trying to make these special pills
Yeah.
for them. But essentially it's about soldiers and PTSD.
Okay.
What if we get, and it's soldiers in therapy kind of recounting their traumatic memories.
Sure.
What if we get a PTSD Obi-Wan, like battle-torn Obi-Wan show where he is kind of recounting his, traumatic memories inside the Clone Wars, where he's like, I saw bodies flying over my head. I saw like my fellow Jedi get cut down. And then after all this, my best friend / apprentice was like in a temple slaughtering little kids. Like that's a lot for one homie to have.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like he definitely
so it could
has
be him recounting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's no way that you can get around having at least like a full episode's worth of flashback in the Obi-Wan series. I just also hope that like there is some action driving forward instead of necessarily retracing steps that we have already seen, because like a lot of that time period is covered in the Clone Wars, but it's like the Clone Wars animated series, but it's like if we get Obi-Wan's perspective on some other things and a lot of his sort of internal struggle, because, the character of Obi-Wan is interesting because he's somebody that like made that shift, in that regard. Qui-Gon was a very good Jedi master for him, even though he felt like he and Qui-Gon didn't really connect, because Qui-Gon was always like questioning everything and kind of marched to the beat of his own drum. And Obi-Wan really wanted to be a very like by the books sort of Jedi. And like in the absence of Qui-Gon, like that effect was still felt on him, particularly as he took Anakin on as an apprentice, who was very much more like Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure. And I feel like that kind of fits perfectly into the storytelling that can go into place in an Obi-Wan show. I think that's exactly where they're going, if I'm being honest. But another thing I keep thinking of is the idea of having a very quiet, intimate, low-stakes show, but at the inside you can open the possibilities through flashbacks by saying, hey, get ready for the war sequence, like Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars on this crazy planet. Like, let's say it's, I don't know, Felucia, and they're on Felucia, and they're like, you get to see live action, like beautiful Felucia, as we did in Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
But we see the battle inside of it, or something that's really appealing visually, which is something that Star Wars is known for. Inside of it, it's still a very personal, intimate story about one man who's trying to come to terms with what is his life.
And I think especially because we know that they've done a fair amount of, or are doing a fair amount of like on location filming for the Obi-Wan series, that like that is definitely something that we are going to see is a fully realized world that Obi-Wan is inhabiting. And it's like, how exactly did he get to the point that he was living alone in isolation on Tatooine and was, kind of known as this crazy old wizard? Like, did he go there right away after did he just stay after he dropped Luke off? Did he go other places? Like, what is that journey? And so there's certainly a lot to explore there, and moments to extract from things we already know and have seen with Obi-Wan in, say, the Clone Wars animated series, that we can re-examine from the psychological aspect of somebody who now is living with the fact that this person who was their best friend, their apprentice, is, Obi-Wan's got a lot of guilt there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's that one. You remember that one show? I think it's still going. It was on Showtime. It was a really good show about that U.S. soldier that came back home. And he turned out to be like a double agent or whatever.
Oh, no.
What is that show called? It was such a good show. It was a Showtime show that was on for like way too many seasons that I had to stop watching. But anyways, the way that Showtime show, I'm sure someone in the chat has to help me out here.
Yeah.
Is kind of how they're going to do it. Present a very traumatic version of like an actual battle war-torn kind of veteran soldier who is literally traumatized by what he faced on the battlefield, and at the same time dealing with his personal issues in life, and at the same time the lost love. Like, that's another angle they can take too. It's like everything kind of put into one will make Obi-Wan an even more compelling character. Homeland, that's the show.
That's the show. Yes. I have seen Homeland.
Yeah,
I agree, and
like a Homeland kind of show, right? Where he's like struggling with what he's become and all that.
But I think also that it's like we also, I would like to see Obi-Wan over the course of this series, like, have growth as a character towards, again, the character who we see. Honestly, mostly the character we see in Star Wars Rebels at the point that we see him, because I feel like that so perfectly encapsulates like the state that Obi-Wan gets to, which is like this very like samurai, like wise old master sort of place.
Yes, a very Zen kind of like place.
And where does
exactly what he has to do?
And where does that like hopefulness and calm come from?
Yeah, it's so. I'm telling you, man. If you're a good writer, you could do this. Like, you can nail it. Like, if you give me like a good like amount of practice, I think I can nail it too. Because I love this character. It's my favorite Star Wars character by a mile. Like, if anyone says who's your favorite, like, it's always going to be Obi-Wan. I love him that much, and I really do feel like you can do this version of him where you are making him layer through layer through layer and making him like that much more deep and complex of a character, and still keep him canon and keep him making him fit into the Rebels version and eventually the New Hope version. I think it works. I think you can do it. And I'm so excited for this Obi-Wan show. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, me too.
Let's move on to our POC spotlight of the day. And our POC spotlight is a character that I was laughing at thinking about, just because I think of the actor, but who was a major portion of this movie, and that is Baze Malbus. Baze Malbus with the crazy repeating cannon blaster, amazing gun that he had, an amazing role that he had. And I will never forget, Emma, I don't know if you remember this, when he did a press conference, and he spoiled the fact that Donnie Yen dies in the movie. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
That was an amazing, that's like a top 5 Star Wars moment.
Yeah. Oh, Jiang-Wen.
Yes. What do you think of the character?
Okay. Can I just tell you that if you Google Baze Malbus, one of the first, because you know how like when you Google, it shows you like questions that people have Googled. So the first one that comes up, maybe this is tailored to me, is, are Chirrut and Baze a couple?
That's funny. That might be tailored to you because I don't see that.
Yes, the answer is yes, they definitely are. They are husbands. They love each other. The end.
That probably is the case. What do you think of this character?
Oh, I love Baze Malbus and Chirrut Imwe. They were just such great sort of like foils to one another in terms of their like personalities. If you have Chirrut Imwe, who's so like Zen and like with the universe, I am one with the Force and the Force is with me, and Baze Malbus is like, all right, yep, let's get back to reality here, bud. I'm shooting all these guys with my crazy repeating blaster. I'm doing all the work here.
Yeah. It definitely is that funny moment of like, it's like a realizing or starting to believe moment. It's the Neo moment in the Matrix. He's beginning to believe. And he like does the martial arts thing. But it's that moment after Chirrut dies. I keep calling him Donnie Yen. It's Chirrut. After Chirrut dies, and the way that he kind of comes to life in the Force, and he's like, you know what? The Force is with me. I'm gonna take down these entire Death Trooper squad. I think that's a great Star Wars moment. I really do think it holds up, and I think his blaster's really cool too.
His blaster's super dope.
And I think all his lines are kind of stellar. Like the way he says, I think it was Chirrut who says, "Did he have the face of a killer?" And he's like, "No, he had the face of a friend." And I was like, man, that's such a good line. The face of a friend. I think that's such a good moment too, and the way he calls Jyn Erso little sister, I think is kind of fun too.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm definitely all about that. All about that Baze.
Yeah, all about that bass. Yeah, I remember that song. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Baze Malbus. Oh.
Yeah, Bradley Burnett says they're the Star Wars version of the Odd Couple.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think it's funny how like if you call him like, I don't know, I'm being silly today just because I've had maybe a little too much coffee, but I was like Bane Malbus, and he's like, oh, you think the Force is your ally? Like straight up. You think the Force is your ally? I think like that's what I first heard when I heard his name. I was like, Bane? Is his name Bane Malbus?
That's hilarious.
But there's plenty enough Banes to go around. Either way, shout out to Jiang Wen, shout out to Baze Malbus, and his let's see if I get this right. MWC 35C repeating light cannon blaster.
I leave the very specific Star Wars knowledge to you.
I used to know that. It's called the staccato lightning blaster. I know that, which is its like technical name or like technical nickname. It's ridiculous. I know so many blasters, it's not even funny, but it's all in the back of my head. And none of them ever come handy, Emma. No one ever asked me about blasters. You
were like, I know sad. Every blaster in Star Wars with all of its letter and number designations, and no one asked me.
No one ever does, and no one ever did. It's pretty sad. But either way, guys, let's move on to this week's Squad Up with Squad Leader Race. It is a very fun one, or at least I think it is. It's not too much there, but I definitely feel like it's a classic because we are bounty hunters, Emma. And we are protecting a town from a band of pirates, protecting them from robbing their resources. This is something that obviously we can be hired to do. This is a very Din thing to do. We saw this in The Mandalorian quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be fun to do this. The first thing we need to do is train up these townsfolk to defend themselves. So what we need to do is hire a trainer. Hire a trainer to teach them how to kick ass and take names, or take names and kick ass.
Okay.
What is it? Kick names, take ass? Mantis?
Sure.
It's one of my favorite lines in all of Marvel. I love this. I think she's great. Either way, a trainer to train these townsfolk is the first thing we need. Second thing we need is we're going to need a dangerous creature to have as your pet, so it can be your guard dog. So as everyone knows, we need a guard dog to kind of keep everyone at bay and let them know that if you're going to step over this gate, you're going to get bit. Warning, guard dog is on patrol. Second thing we need is you have to pick a song for your training montage. As with every training session, you need a training montage.
Okay.
And you need a training montage song to go along with it.
I got it.
Fourth thing we need is, you have to use the terrain to your advantage. So this kind of goes hand in hand with what planet you're picking your town to be in. Perfect. And then from there, kind of make up something that fits with your terrain. So whatever planet you pick on, kind of use the environment as your ally, as Ra's al Ghul will do in Batman.
Okay.
Use it as your ally.
All right. I shifted.
Mind your surroundings.
I shifted my thoughts a little bit.
There you go. Okay.
Specifically based on needing to use the terrain to my advantage.
There you go. So as Ra's al Ghul would say, mind your surroundings, use your surroundings as your ally. So those are the four things you need. I'm going to run through them one more time for anyone who's still here in the chat. It is a trainer to train the townsfolk to fight. You're going to need a dangerous creature to have as a guard dog. You're going to need a song for a training montage, and you're going to need to use the terrain as your ally in a cool fashion. So Emma, we'll start with you as your trainer. Let's get your trainer.
Okay, listen, originally I was going to go with Saw Gerrera, but I have changed my mind and we're going to go Chewbacca.
Nice.
And that'll all make sense down the road, but Chewbacca is the answer.
Nice. Are you going to have a translator available? Do people speak?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Shriwook?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're definitely going to have a Treewook translator present. We have protocol droids, an AP5 type, just like sour, sad, dour anti-C3PO protocol droid. But he speaks every language and he'll translate, and it's very motivating.
Nice.
He actually sings some of the translations.
Nice. I love it. I can't lie. When I first thought of trainer, I don't know why this is the first person to come into my head, but I got to be honest, and I'm going to go with it. It's the first person to come into my head. Who better to teach him how to shoot? Who better to teach him how to fight? And that's Fennec Shand. Shand.
That's a great choice.
She's obviously got the training montage down with Mulan. That's canon. She was in Mulan, so it counts.
Yeah.
So who better to do a training montage and a training session than Mulan herself? Fennec Shand is my choice as my trainer. Now you're gonna pick your dangerous creature to get everyone at bay, to keep him at bay.
Yes.
Who is your guard dog?
It will be a Nexu.
Nice. I saw that in the chat. I was like, yo, that's a good one. Okay.
Full disclosure. On Pencils and Parsecs, we had a Nexu.
Nice. I love
who became my character. I actually used the Nexu as a weapon sometimes. Like I went a little animal trainer mode with it sometimes. So a Nexu, for anybody that maybe doesn't know, it's the creature that's in Attack of the Clones when they're in the arena. It's like a tiger cat sort of situation with multiple eyes and
rat.
Yeah.
With a rat's tail. It goes after Padme. Yeah. Nexu's great. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Man.
What are you gonna choose?
I don't know. Part of me wants to go with one of those Geonosian creatures that are in there too, but I feel like they might be a little tough to control. You know what? I'm gonna give it up to my boy. Because he found a way to train him somehow in some sort of way. But I'm gonna say a Rancor.
Oh,
give me a Rancor.
Okay, all right.
They seem to be like a pet-friendly kind of domestic, kind of.
They seem to at least bond with one person.
Yeah, it's some sort of domesticated animal creature, and clearly it will do damage. Give me a Rancor. I got my Rancor standing 30 foot tall, looking down on all the pirates and being like, "What's up, bro?"
Definitely intimidating.
Now give me your training song montage.
Well, as I say, I have a singing droid on my side. So it's going to be a Treewook version of I'll Make a Man Out of You, of Mulan fame, and the droid will sing.
How would that sound? Ooh,
I can't even begin. Yeah, the droid will translate. What? No, it's a protocol droid.
Oh, he's singing it. Oh,
it's a protocol droid with a very Alan Rickman as Snape kind of mellowness.
So it's like a British accent. Let's get down to business.
Yes.
That's dope. I love it.
That's right.
Man, what's a good training song? You know what? I'm going to select the Pokemon opening intro.
Pokemon theme song. That's so good.
I'm going to pick the Pokemon opening theme song.
Yes,
what's that song called?
I think it's just called Pokemon Theme.
Yeah?
Isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's just called the Pokemon theme song.
Pokemon theme? Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, we're going to sing it. It's going to make absolutely no sense. But
it's
somehow
just called Pokemon theme song. The original one is just called Pokemon theme, I think. Yeah. Yep.
Either way, people are going to be inspired.
It's also known as Gotta Catch 'Em All, but officially it's just called Pokemon theme.
Yeah. And by Gotta Catch 'Em All, I mean catch all those pirates, tie them up. We're going to catch them all. But either way, I am selecting the Pokemon theme song as my training montage song. And finally, Emma, your planet and the way you're going to use your planet to your environment.
Well,
how is that going to happen?
I think that you may be able to guess my planet based on my choice of trainer. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Come
love
on,
it.
you gotta use all those sweet Wookiee trees.
Yeah. Are you gonna be swinging? Is that how you're gonna do
Heck
it?
yeah. Oh yeah. We're
love
gonna
it.
be descending from those trees. This is like exactly what George Lucas actually wanted to do in Return of the Jedi, but they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't find enough tall people to play Wookiees, so they went, you know what? Let's make Ewoks.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Man,
And
I
also,
keep
if
thinking
you
about
played the Kashyyyk stuff in Jedi Fallen Order, you know, like that's some good terrain.
Yeah, it's a great planet. I love Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
I love playing it on Battlefront too. I just love it in general. I think it's a great planet. Okay, so I'm thinking really hard. What about Naboo? I'm going with Naboo.
Oh.
And the way I'm gonna use Naboo to my advantage is by having, I'm gonna have a couple of those creatures that show up at the end to help me out. Those giant dino creatures. I think they're called Caduce. Caduce. From
Kadu. Yes, Kadu. That's exactly right.
God, man, I used to know all this stuff, and now it's like slipping my mind. But I'm gonna have a couple of those guys to hang around, and we're gonna be riding those homies like there's no tomorrow.
Yes.
Straight up, while the Pokemon song is raging in the background, and we have snipers because Fennec Shan has taught us how to snipe, and we're straight up like the Thraki on horseback.
I love it.
We're gonna be kicking ass with our Rancor, swiping left and right.
Okay, listen, we got some fire stuff from this Twitch chat that is literally myself and two other people, but we chatting, okay? So listen, KB says that he wants, as his guard creature, Wart, the giant frog thing outside of Jabba's palace, and says, what's a frog doing on Tatooine? Who cares?
Yeah.
And also Grandpa Karamba says the Rocky IV soundtrack is the only way to go for your training montage. Yep.
That's a good choice. Good choice. That was close to being mine, but I kept thinking like, man, I got to do the Pokemon justice.
Wow. Okay, Brendan. So Brendan says that they would go for Hondo as their trainer. Okay, that's a bold choice. Bold choice. I feel like Hondo Onaka would leave as soon as the going got tough, but that's just me. A Tukata guard dog, Chariots of Fire for the training montage, and the Moon of Concordia for that's really good, Brendan. Great choice of terrain. Great choice of terrain.
Yeah, that is absolutely great. Ryan Tomchek says Asajj Ventress, a Sharhound, Master of None as the theme song or the training montage song.
Okay.
And we're using the mountains of Naboo. Yeah, there you go. Just use the mountains.
Listen, man. Naboo is a good choice. There's a lot of good terrain on Naboo.
There's variety there.
Yeah.
It's
underwater,
one of those
mountains, things that sort of
European
look like
city.
European city, things that look like dinosaurs, but they just don't have any arms. They literally like
sea
just
creatures.
have feet.
Yeah, sea creatures that can eat like
yeah,
entire ships. Like it's some variety there. I love Naboo because it's the one that I feel like has the most like actual stuff there, and which is why it's one of the best planets because it's beautiful and scary.
No, it's a good one.
Sophisticated.
I like Naboo.
I love Naboo. So either way, guys, those are our choices. If you have any others, shoot them out in the chat. But either way, guys, we will be getting out of here. Emma Fyffe, where can everyone find you?
You can find me all over the internet, wherever Emma Fyffes are sold, at my name, Emma Fyffe. I did get verified on Twitter.
I saw that. I put like a fire emoji there.
I feel very honored that Twitter thinks there are other people out there that might want to pretend to be me, or that people care that they're following the real me. So thank you all for your support, I guess. And do be sure to check out my new project with Ven launched last week, Thirsty Thursday, on the Ven Download YouTube channel. The first episode is about Geralt of Rivia. I make a cocktail and examine why we all so thirsty for Geralt. It's doing very well. I'm very excited about the series going forward. We've filmed 2 more episodes, or in the process of writing 2 more scripts right now. So I just would love it if y'all would go check that out, the Then Download YouTube channel, and be sure to watch The Download Monday through Friday on then.tv, 10 a.m. Pacific time. The VODs all live on then.tv as well. And you can also see The Download on like your Rokus and your Samsungs and most of the like built-in pseudo cables that like come with your TV probably. We're on there.
There you go. Obviously, guys, go check her out there. Go watch Ven. It's a lot of fun. You can find me at Squad Leader Ace. I will be tweeting more about anime, more about Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, obviously, guys. And obviously, join us this Thursday. We're going to be going live for our First Cut Live. We're going to be talking all about awards season. It's going to be a lot of fun. And subscribe to First Cut if you haven't done so already. Either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we're peacing out. Peace.
Bye.